Going live.
Nice.
And it looks like we're live. Perfect. Liz,
Cool.
welcome back. Glad to see you back again. How have you been?
Yeah, good. Just got up a little while ago, just finishing off my cereal. How are you?
Good. Getting ready for bed, I guess. It's the time difference after all. Long day at work. So yeah, for folks out there watching, my name is Dustyn. I'm one of the admins for the page Live Reality Games, which focuses on live reality games from across the world. We do a bunch of these podcasts to cover things. And then we also have different groups on our page that you can follow to follow specific shows like Melbourne Survivor. That's a great one, right, Liz?
Yep.
And Liz, tell the people at home watching who you are. Speaking of
Yeah,
Melbourne Survivor.
I'm Liz, and I host a thing called Melbourne Survivor, which is a fan-made Survivor thing in Melbourne. And we're up to our finale episode, which is coming August 15th, hopefully.
And we are super excited to see it.
Yeah.
But today we are talking about the Totem Pole. Like, we took a few weeks off. Like, they had a few non-elimination rounds, so we figured might as well save it for now, right?
Yeah. And now I've lost track of where exactly we're up to.
Well, back in episode 3, like, this is after Asher and after Nicole left us in that last episode, which was huge. Thanks again for Nicole for hanging out with us. Amazing podcast. Thanks again. And they're doing so much cool stuff for the community now. They're actually getting into some of these podcasts as well, which is really cool to check out.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I guess episode 3, like, it starts with this new challenge. Like, it's a classic. Like, having watched the series before, they have to memorize a picture pretty much, and they have to write down more or less. And I guess some people struggle a little bit with the math.
Kadia. Struggle with the wording.
I believe that the answer was 2, and she couldn't figure out if 2 was greater or less than 2. So,
I mean, yeah, that's confusing.
but getting it all together, like, she wins the entire thing.
Yeah.
Like, it was a tough call before. She was almost going to give it to Derek, too, out of all people, who's going to be joining us a little bit later today.
The suspense when that was going on, like.
And then just the aftermath, too. Everyone started clapping for Kadia, and Derek just lost it, unfortunately.
Okay.
Exactly. They had the term Clapgate.
Yeah.
But speaking of Clapgate, there were some people that really tried to keep quiet. And unfortunately, I don't think it paid off very well. Like Jada, for instance, she specifically was like, I'm not clapping.
Yeah. And was it Connor as well?
That's right.
Yeah. And then yeah, he just kind of kept calling out everyone, and then after that, there'd be a couple of people being like, "Hey, I didn't clap." Yeah.
They should have like all stepped to the side, been like, "Oh, not clapping over here. You all can clap." But okay. Well, speaking of, like, it started with that classic challenge, and then it switched to one of the ones that we call here in the States superlatives.
Yeah. So yeah, which I recognize like from Survivor stuff as like touchy subjects. And some people did get a little bit touchy.
Poor Madison. She got called out for being the snake of the season.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, I guess the thing is, like, if you gotta call someone a snake, it doesn't really mean that they're, you're calling them a snake. It's more like you gotta put that label on someone.
You might as well put it on her. It seemed like she was running around and telling people everything. So poor Madison, poor everything. But we end up, Derek doesn't win the competition. But who better to tell it themselves is Derek himself. So let's pop Derek in here. Derek, welcome.
Hey.
Yo, what's up? I'm sitting in Hooters right now. I have a drink. I can hear you all, so that's okay.
Yay.
Perfect.
I hope it's not too loud.
Nope, it's actually pretty good on our side. So we appreciate you joining us on last minute. I know things didn't happen as planned last day or two, but welcome. Thank you for being here.
Yes. Thank you.
So we were just talking, Liz and I, the challenge. Like, it was between you and Kadi at the end. She almost gave it to you.
Yes, she did. Sorry, there was something on the table. Yes, she did. And in that moment, so what y'all got to see was literally maybe like, I don't even know, 30 seconds to a minute of what really took place there. Like, we sat there trying to decide for maybe like 3 or 4 minutes. Kadia, like, when Wesley was like, no, don't start counting. She'll be there. Like, every time she'll be there. Like, love Kadia to death, but she had no reason. She had no reason. Like, she didn't need it. Obviously, you want to win the top of Totem Pole because you want that under your belt. But in that moment, I feel like, I had her. She was good. Nobody was going to come after her. And I was in the most trouble. We also had a challenge win. We saw the round before that. I was in the most trouble. So I wanted it bad. As you see, I tried to get it. I spoke to Wesley and why am I going mind blank now? Wesley and Brett after the season finished, and I was like, I just feel like there was a little flaw in that challenge because we all saw me actually win that challenge, and then for Kadia to get last choice, and then she threw my block into the case. That part stuck for me, but at the same time, I knew that I was good with Kadia, but I just didn't know I was good with. I didn't know that I was good if I would be good with the switch. So
Yeah.
I won the challenge.
Well, speaking of the switch, you were super confident it was going to be Jada based on who got eliminated, which we thought was going to be a
100%.
valid pick. Yeah.
In game, in that moment, I was in my mind. I was like, it's going to be Jada. And which, looking back at it now, I mean, I wasn't wrong for thinking that because a lot of other people thought that it was going to be Jada as well. And you would just think that with who went downstairs, they would be like, okay, with what just happened, with the trio thing, I want to protect somebody that's in that. Well, obviously, Asher was close with Jada, and I knew that at that moment. We all knew the trio was fake, but it was something to come up with. And but I knew that Asher and Jada were actually a close thing. And so when she didn't give it to her, it actually shocked me. So
yeah, we were pretty shocked too.
Because obviously the plan was a good plan. It just didn't work out right because Connor lied to me and he didn't do what he said he'd do. Sorry.
Yeah. Now, do you think Connor was paying you back by maybe going after his friend Nicole from past games before, from the first episode or the second episode rather?
Wait, I'm so sorry. What was that question?
Do you think Connor was getting you back from sending Nicole home?
I think it was. I don't know if it was necessarily getting me back for sending Nicole home. I think Connor wanted to start his story, and I think he saw it as an opportunity to, I just shook a hand, but why not backstab on that same handshake that it took? Because to this moment, I'll still say it, and I'll say it online, and I'll say it 1,000 times. I never told Nicole I would save her. So I don't care what y'all saw on the TV or any of that. I never told Nicole I would save her. So whenever I just feel like Connor, to get revenge on Nicole, I just feel like he wanted to start his story up. Nicole is running around here saying that it was for revenge, and that might be what Connor is telling her for the good tea for them to be good. But I 100% don't think it was for revenge of Nicole.
Because he got that power, and unfortunately, that sent you home. So, unfortunately, I don't.
So they're in the. They're in the time, like I said, even in our group chat, we were just talking about it yesterday. The plan was a good plan. It would have worked out had Connor not lied. But since Connor lied, it didn't work out. And I guess that's just what comes with playing the game. You learn, you live, and you learn, you go home. But you come back, too. So, you don't always come back, but if I can come back. So, we'll see how that works out.
Before you came back, you were convinced that Jada was going to be the switch. Have you spoken to Jada? Would Jada have saved you, Derek?
No, I did not. I didn't speak to Jada because what y'all see is let me spill a little tea for y'all. We had to ask with a K for time to strategize. Okay, so when the challenge happened, we had to ask for time for the switch and then ask for time to strategize for the placement because it's such a quick game. So they want to keep everything moving and all that. So we asked for this time. So no, I didn't speak to Jada, but I knew that I was in hot water. There was no chance Jada would move me and from a bottom spot to a top spot, or not move me from a middle spot to a bottom spot. Regardless, because she obviously was going to be in the bottom. If she was on the bottom of the spot, she was obviously going to move me. So didn't get to talk to Jada at all, no. Obviously not, because I was throwing her name around the whole round. So.
Now, is this the first time you've played a game like this, Derek? I lag in a little bit, but it's fine. Nothing's going to be perfect. It's okay.
This is the... Okay. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
All right.
So that's interesting that Derek was so confident that Jada was going to be the switch, and then she ended up not getting, and he didn't even spend time talking to her to try to save him.
Yeah, I don't know. It's something that's kind of like hard to follow. It's almost like we're missing some information. I don't know. But like, because he just said like he wasn't that the Jada wouldn't have saved him.
I think he should have spent some time building that bond just in case she was the switch after all.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. But so Derek gets voted out. Similar, he just got voted out of our chat thing, I guess.
Yeah.
He'll return eventually. Wow, how ironic is that, right?
Yeah, that's great.
So then next up, after Derek gets eliminated, they go to a vote.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, there's a lot of scrambling, and Madison it starts bawling all the time. I don't know, Liz. I can't handle crying that much. I don't know how you are with crying.
I don't mind crying. I say like let it out, like I think but it was a problem for her because people thought that she was trying to use it, like that she was trying to be like sort of emotionally manipulative in that way, and I don't think she was. Like I didn't get that impression at all. But yeah, that kind of sucks for her.
But then we get Jada voted out, and then they surprised us all, which Nicole had me convinced there was no comeback challenge. And then we came back to the challenge, and surprisingly, waiting for it. Yeah,
this works so well.
Wait, somebody comes back, we'll say.
I mean, he came like back into like...
He totally did. He came back, but he's just... Maybe that's not a good omen for him back in the game.
Yeah, I gotta say, I hope it's not like a what do you call it, like a revolving door situation. Like, because I think that would be kind of like predictable and a bit.
Yeah, for a better term, it's called like a boomerang, right? You go and then you come right back. So.
Yeah. Derek, we're just saying we hope you're not
gonna work
gone yet.
Like super laggy now. Was working a second ago, but now
it was. It's totally cool. That Wi-Fi at Hooters was not what I expected it to be, I tell ya. They got great burgers, not great Wi-Fi.
You hear me?
Yeah.
The service is so bad here.
But the burgers are great.
I would not know.
I have no idea either, Liz. I'm just what I hear. Well, Derek, try just to turn the video off. Try to just join on like vocal if you can do that. Maybe that'll be better. He's got a great still great frame though. Yeah. Here, we're gonna remove you for a second, Derek. Okay. 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 Try to rejoin.
Yes, it's like
you might. I'm pushing buttons here, Liz.
Okay.
Be wary. Okay. Remove. I don't know what I did, but I pushed a button.
Okay, cool.
Okay, cool. So comeback challenge. Like it's the four of them. They're all squaring off. Like I've seen this challenge pretty much. I've played this challenge in a Survivor game. So
I was terrible at it. Yeah.
me too.
Woo! When Jada was saying like that, like Derek would like have an advantage because of his like long arms and like tall and stuff, I was like, yeah, really? Like I don't know, that's really. But then like when we saw it play out, like when he completely like took advantage of that and stuff, like I was like, oh yeah, I guess he kind of does.
And I think generally, like in that arena, he's pretty intimidating. He's like the tallest one. He is the biggest one. Like he can move around a little bit more than the other girls.
Yeah, like at times, like the others kind of like, crawled in on themselves, like just being like, no. Mm-hmm. And like, yeah.
I know you were probably rooting for Nicole.
Yes. And
I was doing for Asher. She made it to the final two, but she just stood there.
I almost like ruled her.
I don't know what she needed.
But yeah, I was cheering for her towards the end. But it's cool that Derek got back because then it's just gonna be pretty entertaining. Like he's just gonna mess stuff up and like people are just gonna be reacting to him all the time.
And especially his comeback. Like, who sprints? I was afraid of that door. Like, I'm sure that's not Wes's place. Like, I thought that door was going to fly off the hinge. It runs in and slides and topples over. I don't know exactly what happened, but he, like, flipped over or something. It was entertaining, that's for sure.
Yeah, and people's reactions to him coming back.
Yeah. Poor Connor. However, like
this episode, he was like hilarious.
Mm-hmm. He did some of the best confessionals, I thought.
Yeah, especially the one talking about how much he didn't want Derek to come back.
Yeah,
and saying, "Oh, I hope it's this kind of thing," and just listing all the ways that like Derek did not come back.
And then, generally speaking, it's like my boss. She says it's not going to be very busy today, and then we're swamped at work. So Connor has that same talent. He says one thing, and the other thing is going to happen.
Oh, yeah. Poor Connor.
But some little things that happen in the episode, too, that I want to point out before Derek. I don't know if he's going to try to come back again, but yeah, he's coming back again. But I want to mention the three of them. It's not Asher, not Jada, not Madison. It's now Sabrina, Josh, and Shane.
Yeah. Yeah, I think those three, like, even like from the very first episode when they teamed up, like that is a good trio. Like that trio is gonna like go far unless like something weird happens and there's some kind of someone does something weird or there's some kind of bad luck with the draw situation. Like each of them, like they function well together, but they're also like each of them is very level-headed or seems that way. And I think that's like a key thing.
Yeah. And I think they're all playing to different aspects of the other groups. Like sometimes Sabrina's in one room and then Shane's in the other room and Josh is in another room. Like they're all kind of like having control over the whole group, which I think is really essential, especially in this game that has so much power involved.
And I think when we did see them like meeting together, was it in like the bathroom or something? Like
that is the best place to meet, Liz. That's the only place.
Yeah, like when no one is looking at them and seeing that they're a trio. Like that's got to be intentional, and I kind of love that.
So I'm super excited to see the next episode. They are doing one of my favorite games: hide stuff, run, and go find it. Like even as a kid,
it's gonna be hectic.
Even as a kid, like running and getting Easter eggs. That was like my favorite holiday.
Nice.
And then it's actually very similar to one of like the popular. I don't know if you watch it personally, but do you follow Big Brother at all?
sort of. I sort of like
Sure.
hear about it. I'm
Yeah.
thinking to watch the season, but like I don't know where to watch it. So
They do a very similar challenge. They have a house, of course, they stay in, and then they hide random objects in the house, and then they have to run in and find it. And it makes a huge mess, brings my OCD all the way up, and I can't stand it. But it's super fun.
nice.
Like, they literally take the cereal boxes and dump them out all over the floor. So,
Oh yeah, that. Oh yeah, I'm keen to watch it.
so super excited for the next episode, and we'll
You
see
have,
from there.
do you have predictions?
Do I have predictions? I think kind of what we said earlier, like that Sabrina, Josh, Shane trio, I think they're going to go really well. And I think Sabrina is building something with Tessa. And I think
Yeah.
Sabrina, I've watched her play before. Like, I've seen the Big Brother Columbus. And I think she's really good at like roping people into an alliance, having a key alliance, and then roping other people to her side, especially, and then taking control like that. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
you?
I'm keen to see them like eventually turn on each other. I don't know if that will happen, but I'm keen if it does, like, you know, further towards the end. And yeah, I always like seeing people turn on each other. It's very real. I'm still worried for that group that was like in more the bottom five. But and I'm concerned for Connor as well. Derek, I'm not sure about. I feel like he could just get turned out the door, but I feel like people want to be more interesting than that. And you know, certain people don't actually want him to go, like Kadia, and I think there was even someone else.
Yeah, I think Josh was mentioning it. I think Josh really wanted to work with Derek. So
yeah, I think Josh and Derek are like pretty tight. So that makes me concerned for Connor. Connor and Madison. But I hope they can pull through, and I hope that like things get flipped. You know, like the power gets flipped. Someone unexpected maybe wins the totem challenge.
I don't think it's going to be Kadia based on her leg brace. So
yes, true. I wonder how
she won the last one.
Can people like work together in this challenge though? Like, I'm wondering.
I think like they should, like, somebody run around and grab as much as they can find, and then just throw it all on one person, so that one person wins. Liz, I think you outthought this challenge.
Woo! Wonder if they'll do that. Maybe they can't though. We don't know.
And I like how they switched it up a little bit. Like, the last person to come back to the porch is eliminated, plus the person that has the least is eliminated. I think that's really clever of production to put those in.
I like that. It's such a like you know, there's a decision in there. You know, it's like, do I keep staying out here to get more stuff? Do I just run back with what I have? Yeah, I like that. As a player, that would be really stressful in like a fun way.
The whole game is stressful in a fun way, Liz, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I'm kind of worried about Jackie, but however, she's been in the bottom so much. I think she might just be that person that people are just going to keep putting in the bottom and keep her around for some reason.
Yeah, that's true. There were a few people who were keen to target her, but it seemed to be more because they didn't want to vote out the other people. Yeah. Yeah.
So then, I guess the last person we haven't talked about, I guess, is Luke.
Luke, yeah. I have pretty high hopes for Luke. I reckon he could just be that person who's like ends up not in like the main alliance or something and just gets like thrown under the bus randomly. But he seems to be pretty like under the radar and like, you know, involved but not yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we talked about it before, but he had one instance where he's in a room of people and he's just going on and on about like how
Oh,
bad he
yeah.
feels about something, and then Shane's like, "Wait,
Can we talk about the vote?
Madison wants to say something. Like this is somebody that's going to be voted out. She's trying to say something, Luke. Luke, be quiet."
Yeah, I
I
like
was,
that from Shane, but
I thought it was hilarious, and his facial expressions are just like over the top dramatic, which is perfect. So
good. Oh, and his like reactions to stuff as well, like like when Kadia like almost like gave the win to Derek and uh
well, Liz, any final thoughts about this last episode of Totem Pole, or maybe what's going to happen next?
I don't think so. I'm excited. I'm excited for things to get switched up. And who am I cheering for? Team Sabrina, 100%. Shane and Josh, love them.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, I think the more I watch people, the more I'm cheering for them. like in the first episode, I didn't really vibe with some people, but like now I'm like I'm on board.
It always takes a little bit to like get into some people and like really
Yeah,
feel them out. You're like, okay, now I kind of like you.
yeah, pretty much. How about you?
Well, I am looking forward to. I don't know how Kadia is going to do in this challenge, but I do want to see Kadia go further. I'm just thinking back to like the whole prize of this competition, and that is you get your own TV show or something. And I think I would just love to watch Kadia like
Yeah.
interview people, which she does currently on Totem Pole podcasting of season 2. So if you want to check it out.
Nice.
Hmm.
Is that
But
yeah?
huh?
That's not with JG Cast, is it? Or is that another one? Never mind.
I think that's another one.
One
Meh,
of
that's
one of the
another one.
people.
But speaking of upcoming podcasts, besides Kadia show, Liz, you and Alex are probably doing another one with Benji and Matariki, right?
Yeah, at some point.
Episode 3 just came out yesterday, so everyone out there, make sure you catch up on Matariki.
Very
Also happening right after this is that we have Old School Allergy. We are bringing back the cast of one of the seasons of Reelfoot. Have you seen Reelfoot, Liz?
Yes. I saw the second season and the third, whatever they put up of it.
Mm-hmm.
And like bits of the first one, but not full.
Yeah.
Who's coming on?
Who's coming on? It's a mystery. Wow. Surprise guess. But no, they're coming on right after this. And honestly, I don't really know who's on it, but some really great people.
Cool.
Keen. And then, of course, Liz and I will be back next week to cover who's ever eliminated from the Totem Pole. Survivor Michigan got delayed, and they will be here Friday, tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with their latest voted out person. So,
yeah,
keeping busy.
Gotta watch that live. Keep missing it.
I love the Michigan one because they do it on YouTube and they have all the streaming comments. You joined us for one, maybe 2 of them live. So
yeah, Michigan's great. It's the season especially is very good. A lot of crazy
and
stuff.
And then our next covering would be Survivor Maryland's coming out. Everyone, stay tuned to these LRG podcasts. We are cooking out the content. We started a new group covering LRG's Talk Reality. We have a few people from the community, different hosts of Big Brother and whatnot. Alex actually popped into your co-host for Matariki, and they talked about the new Big Brother All-Star season here in the U.S. So cool. Liz, I was talking a whole lot. What else you got?
What else have I got? There's nothing else coming up. You put the whole schedule out there.
I know, because I just did that giveaway thing, and I was like, I forgot to say this, I forgot to say that, I forgot to say this. So this is just me spewing everything that I forgot to say in the giveaway contest, which congratulations to the people.
Yes. Well, make sure you tune in to Melbourne Survivor, subscribe so that you can watch it August 15, hopefully. It'll, for people in the US, it'll probably be like pretty early in the morning. But you might be able to sort of watch it and then join our reunion if we're able to do that. And yeah, have like caught up sort of by the time we're partway into that or something. So
super excited for that. All right. Thanks, Liz. We want to thank Derek for coming out, Wes for bringing these people together for us. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and we will see you probably next week-ish. Sound good?
Yeah.
Good. All right.
Cool.
Let me click this. Cool. Oh, there's 2 buttons.